let's talk about Broadcom. I know in the post we talked about how the option call.
Yeah.
So explain the whole Broadcom option call, the whole thing.
Yeah. So Broadcom is a company that we've been in for the past 3 years. Done plenty of option calls on them. I know a lot of people who inside EYU were in the 155 call in August of 23 when they announced earnings and then pulled back. And I said, great, we're going to grab the 175 call and go out further. So we've been in this company from a shareholder standpoint, obviously the option standpoint. But this is a company, if you watch its trajectory and you watch Nvidia, it's been running neck and neck with it, right? In terms of continuous growth. Now Nvidia has pulled back a little bit, but again, it becomes one of those cases where it's good enough, and is great enough anymore. And when you shoot up 79% and you shoot up 59% quarter after quarter, that doesn't really sting the same the way they did when they went up 212%. I'm talking inside of the AI data center infrastructure. But all signs have been pointing for Broadcom to have a blowout quarter. It actually did that, and this is the one time at 4:30 when you were watching, you're like, why is this pulling back? They're beating on every single number, and then you hear this, wait, they have a $10 billion customer, which still hasn't been identified. But I think I have a good clue on who.
We're on the same page on this one. For sure.
Yeah. I think we have a good clue. But they did something very interesting. And I think people in the world of business should actually study this. The GPU market has been dominated by a king, and that is Nvidia. And we know that, right? And when they talk GPUs, it's the first thing that's been brought up. But every time we talk about Broadcom, we talk about connectivity, right? Connectivity from an infrastructure standpoint and from an IP standpoint. Broadcom said, look, we're not trying to compete with you. In fact, we're going to be the connective tissue for this entire space. And so they built accelerators and networks for Silicon Valley and anything in that compute world. So they've coined the term XPU. So if you haven't heard that, write that down in your notes. XPU, not GPU, not CPU, which AMD has done really well and kind of kicked Intel's back in. They've coined XPU. And why XPU? That means across any processing unit. So that means it works in GPUs, it works in CPUs, it works in FPGAs, TPUs, NPUs, DPUs, anything that has silicon design and has compute for acceleration, they are the connectivity partner, right? And so that $10 billion partner, that helped the bottom line revenue. The fact that they have helped OpenAI to design their own chip that is going to be in mass scale in January of 26, that helped the bottom line. And so when we're looking at this, and we always talk about catalyst events, what are the catalyst events? Well, is there infrastructure that's happening? Is there innovation that's happening? Do they have earnings report happening? All those things have lined up perfectly. So when we're like, all right, this is a call we're going to go in. This is a company that we've already stacked. And I talked about why we're stacking, right? Stacking means, all right, I have a call at 155. The stock price went up. I'm going to grab a 175, right? It went to 220. All right, I'm grabbing another call at 220. I might be in the money, right? That means at that the actual stock price or below it, right? Or I might be out the money slightly. We've been stacking Broadcom this entire time. And so when this catalyst event happened, earnings last week, it was like, oh, perfect. And so I saw plenty of people grab that 310 call. They grabbed it a lot closer to the expiration date, right? They grabbed it in October and November and shot up 200, 300% in 24 hours. Right?
Yeah.
Like I like mine slow and steady. I had the January, actually December 27 call for 310, which is fine. I'll take my 40% in 24 hours, but I know that's going to gradually go to 20 to 60, 80, 100, 200%. And so we're very strategic. So when I'm saying stay low and keep firing, that's what I'm talking about. Get all the research, be strategic, and be precise. And when you do those things, these are going to be the type of returns.
There's two really good brand lessons here. The XPU move is really good because you want a company that you invest in to be in a category of its own. And Rashad, maybe we can talk about this from a branding standpoint. Secondly, if you're not a king, be a kingmaker. So Nvidia is a king. They can't beat Nvidia at being a king. What can I do? I can help a king ascend. Now partnering with OpenAI for whatever tech hardware project they have coming out, if they are the infrastructure or the sales of that company and they elevate them, they allow themselves to rise as well. But from a brand standpoint, Rashad, can you touch on how important it is for a company to be unique and not a copycat of another?
Yeah, it's vitally important. You gotta, have your own pathway blueprint as far as, the best brands in the world are memorable for
Yep.
a reason. So, from a marketing standpoint, from a user experience standpoint, from just everything that you can think of. So separation inside the space, I think, is vitally important. Apple, when you look at Apple, they're not the only company that makes cell phones, but they have a unique way to position themselves where it seems like it's Apple and then it's everything else. Because there's a lot of Samsung, the Samsung phone, the Google phone, they're all in the same green. They're all green. Like we don't really look at it. It's not looked at the same as like the iPhone. The iPhone stands alone, and then every other phone, every other of those Android type devices, and there's a lot of them, but they all kind of get lumped in together. So yeah, you gotta stand out. That's important.
You gotta hit a market that no one else is hitting, but really important. And for a while, Nvidia was a king maker as well. If you look at the space, go back to 2019, AMD was in lead, but Nvidia was connecting and making gamers' lives better. And then it went to the personal computer market. Then they hit a different gear. So, and also with Broadcom, they are not appreciated enough because they remind me a lot of Tim Duncan, like fundamentally sound, not the most exciting, but they just put up numbers every quarter. So yeah, continue to hold for long term. And that's a good call too.
That, I mean, what you're saying is vitally important, man. Both of you. I mean, having the separation is one of those determining factors. We don't want to get lumped into the mix of like we're trying to compete with Nvidia.
Nope. Nope. Don't compare me to anyone. AMD, Intel, Nvidia. No, we're separate from all.
If you have a semiconductor, we can help accelerate and we can help with the connectivity for that. So that means that you can work with an AMD, you can work with Texas Instruments, right?
Yep.
You can do all those things because you're just the connection. And that is a game changer. We like the 310 call seems funny now that the stock ran up to 350.
Yeah.
But it's like, all the signs on the wall. And I don't see a slowdown, to be honest with you. I really don't see a slowdown because again, if we're talking about where we're at in terms of artificial intelligence and the use case for the semiconductors, we're talking about GPUs, but like, shout out to Google again. I know we talked about them last week.
Yep.
But Waymo is their product. And when we start, they own it. So when we're starting talking about AI and semis inside of the auto space, that it hasn't had its moment yet. It's going to have a moment. They just announced they had 250,000 ride shares last month. That's a record for them.
Yep.
They're about to have a moment. And if there's connectivity inside the auto space in terms of AI, well, now you can see that customer base. But I had a great conversation with somebody in the tech world, an exec, and I think we've come to a conclusion because when most people heard the $10 billion customer that was anonymous, most people thought OpenAI because that was their partner. When I did the research, they already announced the OpenAI partnership in January. That wasn't something new. This feels like it's something new. And if we're talking about the hyperscalers, the Metas, the Amazons, the Microsofts of the world, there's one company that hasn't partnered with anybody yet.
Do your research. Go to OpenAI and ask who could it be. Also, too, hyper concentration. Going back to that term again, it's really good to have a client that pays the lion's share of revenue if you manage the revenue right.
Right. That we would not. That was Nvidia's case. Yeah, they got 3 customers, but hey, those 3 customers
how much
absorb an amount of money.